Another of his works were Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. He created a realistic background for his story, and also he studied the psychology of his characters. An important aspect that influenced Mark Twain's works was the socialism versus capitalism that appears in this period of time. The economic industrial population expansion, the second industrial revolution, industrialization, urbanization, and immigration. Also, it appears the age of energy, the railroad revolution that created new towns. The role of women was important. The man was richer, and speculation and corruption were prevalent.
Now we are going to explain about the Boston Brahmins.
Boston was founded on the Shawmut Peninsula in 1630.
Boston Brahmins was an important elite composed by rich and intellectual people.
They were called Brahmins because of India's influence.
So the city was dominated by them in 19th century.
Now we are going to highlight some authors.
Henry Wadsworth Longfellow,
His popularity comes from saying exactly the things most Americans wanted to hear.
One of his poems was A Slam of Life.
He expressed the hardworking optimist philosophy of his country.
another important poem was Excelsior, and it was created in 1842.
Nowadays, people can enjoy his sort of sentimentalism.
He wrote some ballads. They were short stories told in the form of poems. For example,
Evangeline, The Song of Hiawatha, and The Courtship of Miles Standish.
Another author is Oliver Wendell Holmes. He invented the name Brahmin.
he used to use humoristic poetry.
And he is known as one of the Americans' best writers of light verse.
He made the first magazine of Boston called The Atlantic Monthly.
So he was the first to write in the magazine.
Some of his novels were
Elsie Venner, Guardian Angel, Mortal Antipathy. Now, James Russell Lowell.
He was characterized for writing, giving a political message.
One of his work is the Kellogg Papers.
and his work he attacked the American police.
Another work was A Table for Critics.
He made a satire of Poe, Bryant, and Emerson, and he became an important literacy critic. Another relevant author is John Greenleaf Whittier.
He was a New England poet who came from a family of ordinary farmers, rather than the Boston aristocracy.
Most relevant work was Snowbound.
Now we are going to talk about the era of realism and naturalism.
In this era, industrialization and urbanization increased.
It is important to highlight the fact that Reconstruction changed the tax structure of the South.
William Dean Howells.
He created the first theory of American realism, and he used it in his novel. For example, a modern instance.
The Rise of Silas Lapham.
Also, his characteristics were very complex and unromantic.
In 1890s, realists became naturalists.
It was a term created by the French novelist.
Emily Zola. Another important author is Stephen Crane.
He was the first American naturalist.
Crane's description of places and events are both realistic and poetic.
His style is more exciting than other naturalists.
created using Powtoon.